What is up, everybody? Nate back with another video. For those of you new to the channel, I own a custom integration company, meaning I help people implement technology into their homes and businesses. For anyone interested in having us consult on your project or your business, our contact information is in the description below. If you're interested in DIYing some of your own smart home products and you're looking to implement them in your home, we have a guide in the description as well. It takes you through our favorite products, how to install them, and what you will need to make it a successful installation. One of the main questions that we constantly get is, what does it cost? What does the product cost? What does the installation cost? So I wanted to make a video kind of deep diving some of the products that we work with and how we come up with our product costing and how we do the installation side of things. Our primary focus is typically networks and AV, including security cameras, but we do a little bit of everything. We do lighting projects, we do automation and control for your home, obviously audio and visual, so your theaters, your general AV, but our primary discipline is networks. We really enjoy working with Ubiquiti and using their products. Another one that you'll see a lot of us is Sonos, but we're going to kind of deep dive into all those individual products, and we'll talk about how we install them and how we come up with our pricing. For those of you not new to the channel, you know we love Ubiquiti. You know we love Sonos. We install it and we talk about it all the time. We are primarily a network company, an automation company. We thrive on the network side of things, but we also do AV, we do lighting, we do all sorts of different things that kind of encompass that smart home into one category. So we do everything from security cameras to lighting to audio to your speaker to anything that you can really think of tech-wise. We help you implement it in your home. One of the huge things that we get asked frequently is, what does all of it cost? And the number one thing that I can relay to you, whether you are a company and you are doing the same thing that I do, where you help clients implement the technology, or maybe you're the consumer side and you're looking to get quotes, or you're looking to just DIY it into your own home. During my consultations, I always ask the client, what are you trying to accomplish with the technology? So I don't talk about pricing. I don't talk about brands. I use a term called brand agnostic on our sell sheets, and I don't put brands on purpose. As a lot of you know, in technology, there's a huge range of cost between things. So we use Sonos amps. Here's a good example. We use Sonos amps as our primary amp when we're doing hardwired speakers. We do a lot of the Sonos all-in-one systems like the Arc and the Beam and the Era 300s and things like that. But when we're doing hardwired speakers, we use the Sonos amp. It's powerful, it's cost-effective, it integrates really well into their system. There's a myriad of different reasons we use it. A Sonos amp is in between $700 and $800 depending on the time of year you're purchasing it, which some may view that as too expensive. But then when you start getting into the home theater realm of things, where you have a receiver and you have an amp and you have all these other products, $700 or $800 for an amp is a drop in the bucket. So depending on how the client wants it to work, what they're trying to gain out of the technology, depends what I'm going to recommend for that. So same thing goes with networks. We use Unify. We love it. It gives the customer a great UI. It gives us a dashboard to manage it for them if they would like. But Ubiquiti is kind of in the middle tier of price points. There's less expensive equipment like TP-Link or Eero or any other type of like mesh system. But then there's the whole other end of the spectrum when you start getting into like small business applications, when you're using Cisco routers and you're using all like same thing. So just huge range. So again, find out what your client wants or what you want as a consumer and tell the person how they can help you implement those things. Same thing goes with cameras. We use Ubiquiti Protect because it integrates really well with that Ubiquiti system. But we do a lot of dealer-only products as well. Our main one that we use is IC Realtime because they make great product and it's dealer-only, and we enjoy implementing it, but we typically use that on the small business side. Same thing goes for camera. You can get a Ring camera at Home Depot for $79, and at the end of the day, you're still going to accomplish a similar end result in comparison to paying someone to come in, run Cat 6 or Cat 5e or whatever it is that you're running to a camera locations, make it look nice, make sure it's all good, make sure it passes inspection, goes back to an NVR. Like, it just depends what your goals are for your system. So what we're going to do, I'm going to run a bunch of different clips of us installing different products. We'll talk about the pricing. We'll talk about how I come up with our installation pricing, and I hope it's a helpful video for you guys. All right, so let's dive into some of the costs that you see for products and services that show up on this channel regularly. Wiring is going to be your biggest variable. Please keep in mind these prices are going to be dependent on your area, and these are specific to where we operate. Also keep in mind we are a fully licensed and insured company. I have overhead, we have employees, but we also have a very high standard of work, and I think the prices reflect that well. For any type of Cat 6, coax, speaker cable, anything like that that we are doing, we charge $100 per drop or per cable that we're doing. That includes termination on both ends, including the faceplate if we're doing a keystone, or whether it's just the RJ45 and a boot. Wiring is going to be your most labor-intensive portion of any project, whether you're doing it yourself or you're hiring it out. You need to understand how the home's constructed, whether you're doing it in a pre-wire application or you're doing it in a retrofit. Retrofits are always going to be more difficult because you need to get the wires places where there's already drywall or there's already insulation or the siding's already up. So whether it needs external conduit or you're going to fish the wires through the walls, that's why our prices reflect it. As far as any of the equipment on the network side, which I know a lot of you watch my channel for, the Ubiquiti products and things like that, we charge standard Ubiquiti prices, the same that you would find at MSRP on the website. I don't upcharge anything for the actual equipment. I don't see a reason to upcharge Ubiquiti's equipment when a client can go right on the website, see the price, and purchase it themselves. Now, another thing that you'll see, like in the example in the video you're watching right now, is we are toning all of this cable because it was run by someone else. So those types of things are reflected in our labor prices because it's time. It takes quite a bit of effort to tone and label everything if you weren't the one to actually run it. Now, some of the other things that you'll see us installing here will be like network racks and things like that. They vary greatly in price. You've seen us use the TechMojo rack, which is what you see on the screen right now. Those ones are fairly inexpensive. They're $150 to $200, depending on the size that you go. And for a lot of clients, that's plenty. You don't need more than that. If you're just doing a router and a switch and maybe some type of PDU, good to go. A $150 small server cabinet is plenty. But like you see in this video, it is a much bigger 42U rack or 36U rack or whatever it is that you see. Those obviously come with quite a bit more price tag, depending on what model you go with. Now, same with speakers. Speakers and distributed audio is kind of a twofold one. The average speaker that we install is in the neighborhood of $200 to $300 a pair, depending. Like I spoke about in the beginning of the video, speakers go all over the place. You can do Bowers and Wilkins speakers that are going to be quite a bit more, and then you can go Macintosh. You could do floor standing speakers. But your general distributed audio speaker, typically ours are $200 to $300. The amps that you see us use, we almost exclusively use Sonos amps for most of our installs. They're $699 most of the time throughout the year. But just like anything, same with the home theater world, if you're using a receiver or a dedicated amp, whether it's Denon, Yamaha, Onkyo, any of those brands, they all vary widely in price depending on your project and the needs. Same with in-ceiling speakers versus in-wall speakers. We also do a good amount of lighting and control systems. So this is an example of a circadian lighting job that we did where it has under cabinet, toe kick lighting, and overhead lighting, all done through a Control4 system. Circadian lighting means that it follows the time of day and the light cycles of the day. Any of the control systems that you use, for example, this is a Control4 wall panel, most of them are going to range, depending on the size you go, in the neighborhood of $1,000. Some of your control systems are going to have a recurring monthly cost to them. Some of them are not. It all just depends on what makes the most sense for you. You could also DIY it, and maybe you're going to use Apple HomeKit, or you're going to use Google Home or Alexa to use some basic scenes and automations throughout your home. It all just depends on your project and what you're looking for. If you want that really nice UI, I'm always going to suggest that you go with a control system, whether it's Josh AI, Control4, Savant, URC, any of those systems. They all have pros and cons to them. They all work great. It just depends on how you want your system to actually work. Now, another piece that we do quite a bit of that you'll see pop up on the screen is going to be automated blinds. We do it through Lutron. We only do Lutron blinds. We do a lot of their lighting as well, so it makes a good partnership for us. Just like any custom cut blind that you're going to see, most Lutron shades are going to start at about $1,000 a window for a standard 4-foot by 3-foot window. But every shade is custom cut, so depending on the size, you're going to be in that neighborhood. I hope this video was helpful and gave you kind of a behind the scenes look at what pricing to expect if you're looking to do these types of things in your own home. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next week.